Planning for a hurricane is already a stressful process, but add the pandemic to the mix and it becomes more complicated. It's a challenge that local and state leaders have been working for months to figure out, taking social distancing, capacity limits, and PPE all into consideration. News 13's Erica Orstad spent the day learning about how those plans are shaping up locally. She's live now from Dean Bozeman School, one of the area's hurricane shelters. Erica?
Amy, everyone I've talked to says it's definitely created a unique problem to solve. Social distancing is certainly not something that is a first thought when having to find a shelter from a dangerous storm. But the COVID-19 pandemic is bringing that issue to the forefront, and local shelter managers find themselves figuring out how to create the safest environment possible.
It becomes pretty tight pretty quick.
Dean Bozeman School Principal Ivan Beach remembers the tight squeeze during Hurricane Michael.
The general population was in our gymnasium, and the majority of the 700 people were in the gym.
Now the COVID-19 pandemic makes a situation like that unsafe.
It's definitely a little bit mind-blowing to think about all the layers that the pandemic has added to our logistical process.
Bay District Schools partners with Bay County Emergency Management to manage the shelters in the area. They've been working since February to prepare a new plan.
We had to add the extra step of temperature checks in the parking lot.
Those with fevers will be directed to an isolated area of the shelter or to non-congregate shelters, potentially hotels partnering with the county.
Once the people are in the shelter, then of course we're having to spread out much more and use much more of the school campus than we initially envisioned.
This includes classrooms, putting families together in their own spaces. Shelter staff and evacuees will be given personal protective equipment if they don't already have it. But before all of this, local leaders are asking residents to try to make plans to find shelter with friends and family elsewhere if possible.
Try to come up with a plan A that takes them out of the area and puts them in an area of safety, and then we'll be prepared to take care of them if they stay here in Bay County.
They're asking people to go ahead and make those plans now before any kind of storm arrives, simply because that pandemic does add those extra layers of planning needed. Some of that includes putting masks and hand sanitizers in your emergency kit. Now, as always, you can download our My Panhandle mobile app for alerts as well. We'll have more info, and all of this you can find on our website, mypanhandle.com. For now, live in Panama City, Erica Orstad, News 13, Panhandle Strong.